I have never been happy with this shelf system that I have for all of my equipment here in my tiny theater. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the fact that it has this wire, like mesh type grating on the bottom instead of three shelves. I don't like the fact that it's wider than I need it to be. And most of all, most importantly, I do not like the fact that it is way underbuilt. And as a result, these heavy, heavy amplifiers from Outlaw Audio cause the shelves to sag, particularly this lower one here. I don't know how well it'll show up in video, but just know, however bad it looks on the video, it's at least 2 to 3 times worse in real life. It looks horrible. Every time I sit down to watch a movie, I'm just greeted with these horrible sagging shelves. Well, no more, no more. I'm going to fix it today. I have a really, really cool shelf system that I have. It's from Strong Shelf Systems, and it's their new Evolve lineup. Anyways, it is much better built than this, and it's actually designed for audio and network equipment. So it's going to require a fair amount of work. I'm going to have to remove everything, bring in the new shelf, get it all hooked back up. Have to do a little bit of rearranging. I've got my Wattbox power conditioner over here. I may have to move that to a different location, but the first step is to get my Onkyo TXRZ50 AVR and my 2 Outlaw Audio amps into the new shelf system. Once I've got that, then I'll be able to figure out where I need to place it, and then also this center channel speaker is going to be placed on a shelf that I'm going to mount here below the screen. So hopefully things will be very much improved once I get all this done. I got my rack in. This is it. It's done. Now, what did I do here? This is actually pretty cool. So this is it's a rack. It's like an equipment and network rack, but it's kind of unique. It has a few little cool features. First of all, it's a dramatic improvement over what I had before. Now, I showed you video before that was showing how the shelves were sagging pretty dramatically from the weight of these Outlaw Audio amps. That is no longer the case. This rack here, it is rated for 100 pounds per shelf. Each of these shelves and this top is rated for 100 pounds, and it's rated for 400 pounds total. So this thing is more than able to support all of the equipment that I need it to hold. So what this rack is, it's from a company called Strong, and it's their Strong Evolve 2.0 rack. Now, unfortunately, you can't buy this rack directly. They're like, you can't go on Amazon and buy this. So that's the bad news. The good news, though, is that it is available through dealers who have access to buy it, and then they are able to sell to the public. And the even better news is I can sell it. So if you're interested in this rack, hit me up. Just shoot me an email, and I can get you hooked up. But there are a lot of really cool things about this rack, aside from the fact that it can support such heavy equipment. First of all, it's a 10U rack in its current form, but it's expandable up to 15U. So this top shelf here, it actually slides up. You can release these pins, and then it will raise up, and you can raise it up to a level where it is then 15U total. So, and adjustable anywhere in between there. Now, for me, this is all the equipment that I need in it. And so I only need it to be a 10U rack. In fact, it can't be any higher than that because then it'll block my screen. So this is the height that I have it set to. Now, it comes with 2 shelves. This shelf and then this shelf. And these go in very easily. They have pins, a set of pins on each side, and then it just slides in, and then The one set of pins, they have a little push button to retract them, slide it into place, let go, and it just snaps right in. It really is super, super easy to get these shelves in. And then on the back of the rack, there are two sets or one set of mounting holes, just like a regular equipment rack, where you can actually mount equipment on the back. Or if you want it on the front, you just turn it around and then the mounting holes are on the front. It really is that easy to adjust it. That you can make it, you can turn it in any orientation you want. You can flip it upside down, right side up. It can go in all directions. Now for me, I put the rack mounting holes on the back side because then I was able to attach my Wattbox power conditioner and surge protector, which is designed to be mounted in a rack, and which the Wattbox surge protector, that also is available through dealers who have access to the equipment. So if you're interested in a Wattbox surge protector, hit me up. I've got all of my power right there on the back, and it's all just super accessible. All of my equipment just plugs directly into that power conditioner and surge protector, makes it really nice and clean. Now, with this Onkyo TX-RZ50 AVR connected to 2 amps, that's a lot of cables because this is a 7.2.4 Dolby Atmos setup. So I've got a lot of RCA cables that go from the AVR to the various amps, and then I've got a lot of speaker cables that connect to the amps. So the back side of it, it is a mess. It's quite a mess. I made it as tidy as I could, but it is quite a mass of wires back there. But what is nice is that once you push it up against the wall, the wires for the most part are pretty well hidden. We do have this real mass of power cables for the receiver and the 2 amps. Those are pretty noticeable. I also have the speaker wires that come out of the wall here in the front. Those are pretty noticeable, unfortunately, but it could be worse. Like, all in all, it's not terrible. And then I was also able to make use of some more of this cable raceway for hiding the cable that goes over for my left main over here. So I just ran the cable through that, attached it to the wall, done. So all in all, it looks really good, I think. I think this is a really sharp looking rack. On each of the corners, there is this little kind of cosmetic piece that just snaps into place to cover up kind of the joint, each of the joints. Because the way this rack is assembled is you don't actually use any tools. It comes kind of collapsed, and then you just stand it up on end. It kind of like unfolds and just kind of snaps into place. It's actually pretty clever. But once you get it all set up in where you want it, then you have these exposed joints on each of the corners. But they include this nice cover to cover it up and make it look a little tidier, I guess. Another really cool feature about this thing that you would never ever guess is these flat plates here on each of the corners. They have it both on the top and the bottom. That way, if you flip it upside down, you still have them against the floor. And what that does is that makes this thing really easy to slide on the floor because it doesn't have any casters. It doesn't have any rollers on the bottom. And so sometimes you do need to get in behind your rack. And this thing, I mean, it slides easily, right? And you consider how many pounds this thing is holding. I mean, the AVR and these 2 receivers, I don't know. It's probably close to 150 pounds, I think, for these three items. And I mean, you can slide it quite easily, and which is kind of cool. It's kind of neat. And then down here on the bottom, it's not really an official shelf, but down here on the very bottom, what I've done is I've used this space for my network switch because I have a single outlet here on the wall. And so I ran a cable from that over to the network switch, and then the network switch is where the AVR connects, the Zadoo connects to it, the Apple TV connects to it, and then my PlayStation also connects to it. And then also down here, this is where I put my Zadoo and my Apple TV. And also my AVR trigger output device, which I made a whole video about that. It's actually pretty cool. It's from Emotiva. So anyways, I'm really happy with how this looks. I also like the fact that now I've got my center channel on a shelf directly underneath the screen. And this went in quite easily. I just attached the two brackets to the wall, attached the shelf to the brackets, and then set the speaker on the shelf. Now I did set the shelf back away from the wall a couple inches just so that there's room to run the speaker cable up behind the shelf and up to the speaker connections. That worked out really well, and I've got my two mains here, and yeah, it's just a really nice, tidy setup. I'm really happy with it. It is a dramatic improvement over the shelves that I had before, and so yeah, I really couldn't be happier with it. If you are in need of something like this, if you have equipment and you're looking for a good way to store the equipment safely, so it's furniture that is made to handle the weight of the equipment, and also in a way that looks good. I think you could really have a good solution with this rack here. Like I say, it's expandable up to a 15U, so if you could fit a lot of equipment in this thing. I'm really happy with it, and thanks for watching.